So the Natasha Cloud saga is something that is going to be probably one of the stories of WNBA free agency, because now it has gone from what it actually is, a player screwing up free agency bad. And by the way, there are players that have screwed up free agency bad. There is no way in hell that Maisha Hines-Allen should be on a minimum. There is no way in hell. There is no way in hell that Ty Harris should be making $400K. There is no way in hell that Kennedy Carter should be at a minimum. There are reasons for that, and some people just screwed up free agency. However, with Natasha Cloud, it seems very obvious what happened. She desperately wanted to stay with the New York Liberty. That was very clear. You could hear it from what she was saying. Like, from everything she said. She desperately wanted to stay with the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty GM came out in October and basically said, we don't want her back. Or at least we don't want her back as a starter. And by the time she fired her agent, which is Caitlin Clark's agent, she fired her agent. And by that time, every single team in the WNBA had a starting and backup point guard. And every single team was down to nearly zero in salary cap, except for the Washington Mystics and the Portland Fire. One of the teams, I don't know exactly how she left, but she did leave the Washington Mystics, and I don't think she had great things to say about the Washington Mystics on the way out. The Portland Fire are trying to lose. And the reason why the Portland Fire are not going to sign Natasha Cloud is because people are wondering, it's like, why are they saving money? It's like the owner surely doesn't want to save $2 million. No. They are saving the cap space so that, let's just say hypothetically, they get to the Dallas Wings. This is just an example. The Dallas Wings get to the trade deadline, and they are 3 games above 500. And Jess Shepard is stinking it up while Awak-Kuier is taking a starting spot. This is where Portland come in. The Dallas Wings are like, okay, our picks aren't going to be worth anything in the first round. And Dallas goes, Portland, we will give you JJQ and our 2028 first round pick and Jess Shepard for a third round pick. So basically you're getting 2 assets just to take a bad contract. And the Central Toronto Tempo, they have no money. The Portland Fire can do that 3 times. They can take $3 million worth of bad contracts and get assets. That's how the Oklahoma City Thunder did it. Like, so many of their assets. Obviously, they flip picks and turn them into more picks and picks and picks. But they took on a lot of bad contracts and got a lot of assets out of it. When it comes down to it, though, for Natasha Cloud, this has become a bigger deal because in a quite dangerous precedent that's being set, a Nepo baby, who I'm not going to mention, has basically called Natasha Cloud one of the best players in the WNBA. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? She is a 34? She's 34 years old. Her defense by the end of last season was significantly worse than it's been recently. And she's not even on the back 9 of her career. She was probably in the last 2 years of her career. She was clearly looking for a lot of money. And then try to make it that, I'm not signed because I'm outspoken. I mean, like, she's pissed off. I've said this again. She's pissed off a quarter of the league. A quarter of the league can't afford her. She doesn't want to go to a quarter of the league. And a quarter of the league don't want her. Like, it is as simple as that. Like, she's pissed off the Sun. She's pissed off every single team. And by the way, she's been on 4 teams in the last 4 years. And she didn't piss off the Liberty. Liberty just don't want her. Like, she's pissed off 3 of the last 4 teams she's been on. Kind of burned the bridges. But obviously, the Nepo baby made a video that is going viral, stating that the reason why Natasha Cloud is not on a team is because of her pro-Palestine stance, which is a wild accusation to make. Or I'm not, at least she heavily implies it. which is a wild accusation to make. And now people are running with it that like she's being blackballed out of the league because of her political stances. Just a heads up. Natasha Cloud was very, very pro Palestine in 2025. And do you know what happened in 2025? The New York Liberty gave up 2 first-round picks for her. So a team was willing to give up 2 first-round picks together. The 7th pick in last year's draft and a pick in this year's draft, which is, I don't even know. Who was it? Was it Neepkins? No, it wasn't Neepkins. It was Nell Angloma. So basically, Anissa Morrow and Nell Angloma, they gave up for Cloud. But all of a sudden, Cloud saying the exact same thing that made her worth 2 first-round picks last year. No, she just stunk it up to end last season. She had a fantastic start to the season, by the way. A fantastic, maybe first month of the season. I'm going to be real here. The first month of the season, Tash Cloud was exceptional. She was horrendous to end the season and was terrible in the playoffs. Well, sorry, terrible. She was good in game 1. Terrible in game 2 and 3 of the playoffs. Albeit, as was Breanna. And to be honest, she's not going to be out of the league, but the jury's freaking out on Breanna. I think she might be the most overrated player in the WNBA, if we're being real. But like Tash Cloud, there are a million basketball reasons for Tash Cloud not to be in the league. And a lot of them is overplaying her hand. The reality is, if Tash Cloud was willing to play on a minimum and be a backup, she almost certainly would be in the league right now. She would almost certainly be in the league if she was willing to do that. If she was willing to play in the Ty Harris role. My guess is that she is very much just waiting it out to see if someone will sign her. Or, to be honest, as far as money is concerned, she will probably make more than $200K in speaking arrangements from being blackballed from the league. She'll probably make more than that $200K on the minimum. And let's be real, she was, if you're a WNBA owner, she was also, if you are Seattle, she's burned her bridges with Seattle by basically claiming that the owner renting out the arena should be considered WNBA revenue. That's just not the case. And let's be honest, the voice of we don't need the WNBA, we've got Unrivals. We got to be completely real here. The voice of that, it doesn't help. None of it helps. But let's be honest, she would be in the league if she was willing to play on a minimum. And if I am wrong with that, I will make an entire 10-minute long apology. But there is no doubt about it that there is a team willing to give her a minimum. So no, the reason why she's out of the league is for nothing other than pure basketball reasons, where the likelihood is that she believes her role and her revenue or money should be more than they are. That's almost certainly the case. Anyway, see you guys.